Welcome back. The year is 1797 and we still have some work to do before we can wrap up this Kilwa campaign. So you can see our name is quite large across the, well, mostly I guess, Middle East and Eastern regions and a little bit of Africa here as well. Today our plan is most likely straightforward. We'll go east. I'm interested in taking over hopefully all of Japan. And either like pieces of Korea or Shan. We'll have to decide which ones we want more. Probably Shan because it's easier to siege down, but that's to be found out. We want to start with Japan, and that's for two reasons. First is that they're just easier to conquer, and second is that while we're doing this, we can get more of our troops away from Jaunpur, for example, or even from Europe to get to nearby Shan and Korea. So we'll be better prepared for the second war. Now, one thing I do want to do finally is you can see we can choose to become either the economic hegemon or the military hegemon. And I think it's about time. So you can see that Great Britain is becoming the naval hegemon. But I want to check the bonuses because it's been a while since we chose one of these. So economic hegemon gets monthly war exhaustion minus 0.1. Mercenary manpower is plus 100%. Development cost modifier minus 5%. Maybe only the first one is interesting for us. Then over time, as power grows, we gain goods produced modifier plus 25%, mercenary discipline plus 10%, and minimum autonomy in territories minus 20%. That last one is actually quite fascinating, given that we have a lot of territories. And at maximum power gains, we gain governing capacity modifier plus 20%. So, if you don't know, at the end of last stream, we grabbed a bunch of provinces from Turkey, and that kind of pushed us beyond the 100, well, whatever governing capacity we have. We're at like 80 points over the cap. So that's something to consider. But let's also take a look at the other option we have. So the other one is military hegemon. We always would get the benefit of monthly war exhaustion is the same. Province war score cost minus 10%. Definitely fascinating. And more monthly military power. And over time, as the power grows, we gain national unrest minus 3, land attrition, and movement speed plus 10%. That means we'll be able to siege down everything much faster because we'll get to the sieges, but mostly because at maximum power we gain the siegeability of plus 20%. So it's not as straightforward of a choice as I thought. Mostly because we're running into our governing capacity, but one thing to keep in mind regarding the governing capacity is that in just a few years, or if you want to be even faster, we can gain 500 governing capacity from the level 31 administrative technology. And that should help us get through to the end of the game quite reasonably. So I think we'll go this time for the military hegemon. I don't think I've grabbed this one before, but let's do it. Proclaiming a hegemony will give us plenty of benefits, increasing our power projection, but also will make us stand more alone in the world. I think we cannot have allies anymore after that. Hopefully we don't lose our subjects though. It would be weird if we did. Let's do it. So hegemony proclaimed. We have proclaimed ourselves as military hegemon. We are certain that we can stand the world against the world alone and be the dominant power. we will surpass Alexander and Genghis Khan. Poderintum metuant. Brilliant. Now, what else is there to do in terms of tidying up our country? So let's take a look at all the notifications. Rebels we can ignore for the time being. Our extension is high, we know, and we're dealing with it. Then enemies are sieging our provinces in one place. Is this group responsible for taking care of that place? Apparently not, so we'll make them... Ah, there's another group that takes care of rebels oppression, so that's fine. We can close this notification. We have exiled armies. Understandable, as we just fought Turkey over here. Now let's see, check out all the exiled armies we have here. Okay. No need to do autonomous teaching anymore. All of you guys can go back to our own provinces. Anything else? So all of them are moving. Looks good. So this notification should also be gone in a moment. We could invest into diplomatic technology, but too soon. And we have suffered casualties, which will be recouped soon enough. And we could use the Muslim piety interaction to reduce corruption, but there's nothing to reduce at the moment. Now you can see also that different truces will expire. One of the main ones that we're interested in can be the Korean one. So it's just in a few months. We're actually not that much in a rush because we will be fighting Japan first. Then we can build some province improvements. I don't know exactly if we went over all the provinces last time, but let's just in case do it once more. So town halls have all been well started already. There is a bunch of production buildings we can click. And some taxation ones apparently. How about trade? Yeah, there's one province that could use a trade upgrade. Manpower? Yeah, a few. Then furnaces, none. Manufacturers, also none. And state houses, also empty list. That should do with buildings part. We do have a bunch of claims that will expire, but we haven't been fabricating claims anyway, so we can skip this part. And we could afford trade company investments in some areas. Maybe let's do it. So there is this trade steering option. Now click it in as many provinces as we can. So yeah, let's do trade steering. Why aren't you... Ah, so basically all the green areas we can include. You can see there's a lot of green down here as well. Wait. Okay. I guess we have to click on specific provinces. Are those just the centers of trade? Not something I usually do much, so... Okay. There are a few more green ones here. Some in Africa as well, apparently. It's interesting that such large areas go out of the green zone in a single click. Probably something I should look more into in the long run. Looks like we covered all of the territories that we had to cover. Okay. Then this one is also done. We can summon a diet. Why not? We haven't done it in a while. So the proposal of Ulema says that we need to convert some province to the Sunni faith and we gain some claims. Amirs want us to have at least one province in the Isfahan area. Well, we're not gonna go for that area at the moment, so sorry. No. And if in the Ivory Coast Kilwa has 40% or more trade power, we could get some good trade efficiency advisor. And yeah, they may also always want something weird, so no great options, I would say. Maybe only the one that's about conquering. They want us to conquer this one, eh? We'll go against Persia. And we'll take the Amir's one. Probably last until the end of the game. Well, okay, you can see 1817 is the expiration date, so 20 years from now. Should be enough time for us to get there. If we choose so. We have lost contain hegemon casus belli against Great Britain. Oh well, because we are also one now. And the last thing is about hiring condottieri. I think we can just shift right click to enable or disable this notification. It's really that we ever react to it anyway, so it's just noise. Now that we're done with the administrative stuff, what I would like to do is just perhaps train a few groups of troops near Japan. So let us use the army template. Let's use the siege one. And let's train, for example, let's say 3 groups. I will train them somewhere a little bit further away from Japan themselves. Can we do 4 groups? Yeah, we can. We will not run into our army force limit even with 4 groups. But that's not everything you want to get there. We have to figure out what's going on with our troops over here on the islands. Ideally, one of the groups should stay protecting these islands along with some transport ships to take them to one place or the other. But they could be these mercenaries here. Actually, yeah, they were mercenaries, right? So these mercenaries will be responsible for doing that. But everyone else we should kind of gather together over here. So can you guys just move over? We can use the ship. Now, do we have any more transport ships? We should have. Actually, there's 101 transport ships over here. I will send you all to this island of Halm Air, and all the troops will meet you up there. So, as a result of this operation, we'll get like 40, 80, 120, 160,000 troops to fight against Japan. That will be enough. That will definitely be enough for this war. And the rest of the setup will be focusing on just, I guess, gathering around Shun, because we want to fight against them and North Korea. Thus, don't have any other powerful ally, so they're allied with you, who is just 3 provinces at this point. We might want to have one group of troops around there, and it could actually be the mercenaries, I believe. So you guys go here. The others will just line up nicely along the lines of, or along the borders of Korea and Chun, starting from Korea. We should, based on our previous experience, not underestimate Korea, so we'll send 3 full groups right here. Now there is one more who's just sitting idle, and you will be backing up everybody else against Korea in Haicheng. Now there is a group near Guarat. I see you will also take place somewhere nearby Shun and Korea. So you go to Yosutu. And then we will... So there's another group near Guarat. I didn't notice it initially. Just give me a moment. Okay, the other group near Guarat should join, with whom they were kind of lurking the Guarat country. So you will go to Ningyuan. Ningguan, I guess is the proper pronunciation. And then we will grab some groups from the war with Turkey as well. You can go to Yongping, for example. Wow, you will take a long route there, eh? How about you go from the south instead, just in case? Because we might lose military access to Delhi at any time. So let's go along the borders. No. We don't want to cross Delhi territory all the time. So we just make it like this. And you will end up, let's say, in Heian. Now more troops, please. I think we're almost having enough of them, but the next group goes to Wuding. Again, they want to go all the way to Delhi and stuff. But we'll give them a slightly longer road, but it's safer. Oh, you want to go across Shun? Apparently we have military access from Shun as well. When we consider that we are combining all these groups with ones that are in Japan, I think that'll do. So everybody else will stay somewhere in Europe. But what we want to double check as well is our ship situation. So we have one fleet in Europe, you can see here. I think we want to take kind of all of our ships to the same place and then figure out what we do with them. So that's for the ones that are just now preparing for transportation. So these are moving, these are also moving. These are just trade protection ships. There's 79 more ships over here. We do want to leave a small group in Europe, regardless. So let's make it like 50 ships. Yeah, I'm just gonna be doing some clicking. That's half of them. So this will be basically the group that's gonna be ready to transport our troops from one place to another inside Europe. Everybody else can go. I don't remember where I sent the B group, but I guess it was somewhere around here. And these guys also go to, let's say, Venzu. And there is a group of 47 ships. And that will also go to Venzu. And I know these ships are also trade ships, just protecting some random trade node from for centuries already. We haven't touched that in a while. But I will send them to Wenju as well. I just want to reorganize the trade fleets as well a little bit, or trade protection fleets. And yeah, that was a lengthy setup phase, but I think it'll make our situation much easier. Now the mandatory bug with the conversion completion messages. There's more and more regions that apparently at the same time finished the conversion. Now we can improve the capital by using either ducats or manpower. I think we'll go for the ducats option because manpower is at this point definitely more useful than the ducats. Some group of rebels was removed. Now I see that this group of troops didn't go where I wanted them to go because I took the ships away. That's okay. We'll get them there in a moment. You guys are arriving in the Halma Heran Sea in a little bit. All of these troops will jump on board and then we'll head back to, let's say, Europa is our destination. I think we will need more transport ships here though. So or we transport them twice, which is not optimal. I'll just send more transport ships to Kilwa actually. And I'll split the groups that have transport ships. So you guys, for example, have 24 more transport ships. Please head to Palopo. I cannot split this group up at the moment. But once they get to the next region on the sea, we'll take all the transports. And again, Palopo is your destination. The rest of you can keep heading to Venju. Another battle against rebels. How is our coring doing? It's at 7%, so we're good in terms of time, I believe. Portugal has cancelled the right of military access they have. Ah, we gave us the military access. Why would we do that? Okay, a military leader has left us. Somewhere not critical at the moment. We also have Permian separatists jumping around on our borders. I do want to double check. Yeah, I guess we assigned all the provinces last time to the rebel suppression program. This fleet of ships is too slow because they have, in addition to transport ships, they also have some galleys, and the trade ships are fast, I guess, but the galleys are slowing them down. An alliance offer from Bashkiria. And we also got crushed the revolution casus belli against revolutionary Kazikomu. So probably Turkey wrapped up their fight against Transoxiana or vice versa. And we have a bunch of new countries that spawned here. Even Nogai is back. I think they were gone for a while. That's a lovely sight to see. Let's hope we can grab some of those countries before others do that. Now, I want to split up these ships as well, so transports will stay by themselves, but you guys will just go to the meeting place in Venju. You can perhaps use the transport ships just to get to the other side of the Flores Sea here. We can ignore this alliance request. Yeah, some of our provinces are being sieged. Should be taken care of in a little bit. Now we have at least 192 transport ships in place. That means we can probably take all of these troops across the sea to Japan. And just need this group to also come here. I will not reorganize the troops here, it's a bit messy at the moment. Our truce with Korea and Yu and Wu has ended. Brilliant. We are not ready to fight them just yet. But all of you just jump on board. And let's go get you to fight in Japan. Wait, there's one more group. give it a moment. I just missed it. They are forced marching at least, so it's just in a few days and they'll be there. Okay. You should also hop on board and hopefully we can grab everybody. And you will land in Japan close to the front lines. You can see that the groups that we previously started assembling are spawning troops as fast as they can. Now another alliance offer from Afghanistan, we're gonna have to politely decline. Don't really want to have to deal with alliances at this point when we choose which our next targets are gonna be. We can also upgrade the great project, the Great Mosque of Jen. This will give us some more missionary strength against the heathens. Always useful. Yeah, seems like we picked up everybody we needed to grab. These ships can already maybe upgrade themselves a little bit while they're waiting here. Oh, nice timing. It's for a new month, so they got instant progress on the upgrade. Now, this should also be taken care of, I believe. Unless it's the former Ankara territories, it isn't. But you can see that the rebels are being suppressed by some group. I guess it's this one instead. They might be afraid to approach these rebels over here, so I'll just send a bigger group after the rebels. Siberia is interested in an alliance. Good to know, but thank you. Not this time. You can see all of our troops are slowly approaching the lands of Shun and Korea. Now the time when we will start the war will probably be once our troops from down there will arrive on the coast on Suruga. We'll just reorganize the groups and then get the war going. Cannot wait too long because our coring is rushing day by day. It's like 0.1% progress. Our ships from Europe are not even close yet, I guess. I don't see them anywhere around. So the transport ships are moving. The other ones are near India. Again, we're gonna start the war without them, regardless, because we have land access to most of Japan at this point. One group is almost already assembled. It's okay, they can keep assembling while we're doing this war thing. But our main assault party is here. So we need to kind of distribute them a little bit, figure out which groups go together, and let them recoup for a month or so. So you guys will stay here, the artillery group can go here, and that should do it. So these two should go together. Now let's let them spread out a little bit. They are all forced marching, I hope. This group isn't. Could be a good thing for them though. Because it's almost the end of December. And I believe they... Okay, everybody kind of got to their places. Thought they wouldn't like recover their forces if they're on the move. So the religion of Dingshu has converted to Sunni. Okay. The Sunni faith. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Sunni, but Sunni sounds brighter. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups ready to fight. Well, kind of ready. They are all force marching. Now the only remaining question is maybe we'll wait until February at least to get this war started. No, Let's do it. Let's just do it. So Japan is allied with Seoul. Seoul should be a one province minor somewhere around. You can see them here. They're very similar color when you look at it like this, or I'll look at the map like this, because their province is so small. So it doesn't really change anything for us. Let's declare war. So can be called as co-belligerent, in case we want to decide to take them over as well. And it will be imperialism casus belli as usually. The best bonuses for us as of now. We got cavalry from somewhere apparently. 11,000 of them. Surprising. Anyway, let's go. War against Japan. The second one, I believe. Now, in terms of the fortresses, I can see there's a level 8 fort in Yamato here and also one in Tango here. So those will be the two ones we'll be sieging down, plus also going for their capital, which has a level 1 fortress. And the standard approach, so we'll send one full group to each fortress and assisted by the artillery from another group. And the infantry that remains behind from the second siege group can just take down or take over whatever regular provinces there are. Now, we are lacking some generals. And I think we'll just recruit a few extra. So, these two groups will get new fancy generals. Wow. 6 siege is quite amazing at this point. You will definitely go for one of the sieges. What about you? Are you gonna get the lucky general as well? And not so. So you'll be the perfect support group. You'll send your artillery there in any case. Yes, we will cancel the autonomous rebel suppression. We have enough troops around to suppress any rebels that might come by. And the last full group will just siege down Kyoto. We'll also start ticking down the imperialism casus belli points. One thought I had now is that, like the other group that goes to Tango, right? I remember we had another 6 pip siege general. So let's just grab that one. It's attached to the 29th army. The 29th army is somewhere far away. Okay, so I will make it so that you guys will grab the leader from... No, it got a bit messy. Let's go back to Japan for a second. So the group going to Tango will have the 6 pip general taken over from Africa. And then the troops in Africa can grab instead another general, because they will be fighting the rebels. So let's just make sure they have a general leading them. So we have 2 generals with 6 siege pips. Curious to see how fast we'll be able to siege down their fortresses. But let's be honest, the real challenge of sieging down fortresses would be Korea. Okay, how far are our ships? Kinda slow, but they're getting there. These 2 fortresses do not have a sea border, I think. Maybe, no, actually maybe Tango has. Yeah, Tango has. So ships would help out with this siege specifically. So Tokachi has some rebels that spawned. Okay, we'll give this group already a general and have them fight against the rebels. I mean, you can force march. I think we're building some troops over here, so we wanna stop the rebels from throwing us down there. So the siege of Kyoto was a quick one. how fast are our siege phases? So there's 24 days. Our siege ability is quite impressive, 56.4%. Yeah, I believe Japan will fall fast. It's almost too bad this game is well, this campaign is like 23 years away from completing, because it feels like we're on a roll here now. And we do have a few provinces we can grab for free in addition to the ones we just got. Another group of rebels has been defeated. With at least one more in queue for that. There is one Japanese province I see here. But wait, just wait a second. So where are you guys going? There are 68,000 Japanese troops running somewhere. Question is, where are they gonna go? We have some troops like standing by here. Reinforcing if needed. They might just surprise us in one of the siege directions. If we miss them approaching us. Okay. We are controlling a few more provinces. Our ships should almost be there. And yeah, we did send them to Wenju as well. So even if I forgot about their destination, I just picked it multiple times. Probably is a good destination for whatever logic I was having it subconsciously there. So Greek separatists have risen up in Cyprus. This might need our intervention, but that's why we left the group of ships over here. So please take care of the rebels before they take over the Greek island. You can see the Japanese troops are heading somewhere. They're going to Key, I guess, but will they try to go for Yamato after that? Aha, so they're going for ice instead. Now, since the rebels have been taken care of here, you guys should also come and reinforce the troops over here. So if they go for ice, we will just send all our groups here. The battle will begin on the 17th of April. These guys can get there faster than that. You guys also. I'm curious to see if we have like decent bonuses against them. Last time we were fighting Japanese, they were kind of kicking our butts. You can again see that. Let's just take a moment to compare like the stats. So discipline we have way more of. Morale we also have a slight advantage of. And also the same goes for discipline. So from this perspective, it's if we roll decently, we should be able to take them down. We did get like a rough first round of fighting. And still our morale is going down faster than I would prefer. It's okay, we have 61,000 troops that can help us out. You should also be sure to force march, and let's join the battle. Okay, this should settle this specific debate. Unless they bring the rest of their troops here. They didn't do that. And they retreated. So my thinking now would be that we take off the force march from these groups. Let them recover their morale for 1 month. And then we'll go in to take care of the rest of the Japanese troops that just arrived here. Yeah, looks good now to just stay here for a month. Maybe even do... Nah, no need for supply depot. So rains fail in Luang Prabang, that's unfortunate. Nothing we can control though. You can see the second group is almost assembled. The third one is also getting ready. But the Japanese are retreating, which is not ideal. Now the Sale of Titles event happened, which means that we could gain 24,000 ducats if we give Merchant Guilds 5% of land. We don't want to do that. But we don't mind grabbing 50 extra administrative power. And Amir State gains 10 loyalty and Merchant Guild loses 10 loyalty. We mostly care about the administrative power. Now can we catch them before they leave if we force march something? I guess no. So they will just retreat for the time being, I believe, and we'll catch them a little bit later. I guess we cannot go for some other sieges from the land at the moment. So what I want to do is I want to send this full group at least forward to the few provinces we can just take over. There is one more full group that goes to Key then. And there is there are 2 infantry groups and 1 infantry / half of artillery, which can be combined together again. You guys will go to Kyoto. We're already at 37% war score. I think we'll do good time regarding our coring process, which is ticking down relentlessly at 40% already. Now we finished the siege of Tango. This does give us the interesting choice of attacking Japanese troops ourselves. I see they're retreating again. But maybe we just want to stop them. I don't want to rush too boldly though. I do see that we started it accidentally because one group of ours got there before the Japanese managed to escape, so the decision has been made for us. Can we hold on for 4 days against them? We are force marching with these guys. If we force march with you, we'll get there 1 day earlier. And if we force march with you, I'm still the 24th of May. These ones are promising. Yeah, so that you have to hold on 3 days. Can you do it? 1, 2. Yes, you can. Now we get a bunch of troops extra here. And now we're outnumbering them 3-1. Could be an easy win. Well, nothing easier, we're kinda even numbers at the moment, and now they're rolled nicely. So the Japanese are tough fighters, but in the end numbers matter. And they will be forced to retreat. I don't think we'll be stack wiping them. Yeah. So that group is also retreating. And we can move forward to the next siege, which is going to be Izumo, as I see here. I'll take away the forced march, you guys need to recover. Are you 6 pip siege though? Is my question. So you're the 52nd army. 52nd army is, yeah, correct. You will take along this artillery group as well. And we need to split you guys a little bit. So I'll send the smaller groups somewhere further from the front lines. I guess you guys can go here. That should do it for the time being. Let's let the groups reposition them a little bit before we figure out if everybody is going to the correct destination. We have some requests for military access from various countries. I'm sorry, but we don't care. Okay, so we have these 2 groups are heading for the siege, I believe. So probably these guys could go to Key. Now, it's about time our ships got here though. So let's merge them all together. There are some that we could upgrade apparently, but Let's not mess with that. Instead, we want to make sure that we get to the next fortress in Ava. So you guys should just... You have an admiral, you just go to key channel. It's literally the key channel at this point in this war. No puns intended, I guess. Maybe they are. So Setsu has been occupied by us. And there's Kazani separatists doing some focus pocus, but we have coverage for that area. We also managed to do a successful conversion again. And Bizen has been occupied by us. Okay, next thing. I don't think we can go to Ava just now. Can we go to Aki? No, we cannot. Yeah, you can see that we need some ships to get across. So we will grab this Harima province as well. And then we'll wait for the backup in the form of our ships. Before we can take on the next provinces. So Japanese troops are heading back towards us. I guess they recovered a little bit. And they're hoping to fight us. If we check out the troop numbers, it's 88,000 remaining. I think it was like 200,000 in the beginning, maybe a little bit less. Okay, Battle of Key Channel is also done. While we're doing this, I see another group has been fully assembled. You will get the brand new general, and you get like a decent one, not for the siege, but for fighting in general. So please force march and head forward towards the front lines. Now, who is gonna be sieging Ava? Well, I guess it's this whole group. But no, we want our brilliant generals to be participants here. Where is our 6th siege general? He's here. I mean, we can swap you guys around, so I'll just do no leader here. I will take the other general over here, and then this group gets the 6 siege general to get the siege going. And we should have an extra artillery group somewhere. I guess these guys can give up their artillery again. I'll force march them. They seem to be full force anyway. And these guys should just be closer to Japan. Oops. Yeah, we don't want to go too thin in terms of our positions. A royal marriage offer from Jangar. No, thank you. So Cebu and separatists have risen up, and this is something we have to keep our eyes on because... actually not a problem. I will just double check that we have autonomous rebel suppression on for this area. We didn't, now we do. And we have more ships over here. You know, you guys should also be like somewhere in the key channel. Hopefully you don't get caught by the Korean fleet. Or Japanese fleet, sorry. You can see the Japanese troops are also heading towards Ava now. Actually, they're a bit indecisive on where to go. I love it when the siege phase is so short. Makes sieging feel like a huge progress. Or a quickly progressing thing. So, our royal marriage offer from Morocco. Would not expect anything less at this point. The meme of this campaign. Let's see that I guess we still have, well, one of the groups has been assembled again. You get the brand new general. And nothing special. But that's the roll of the die. And you can just head to Setsu. And then I guess it's just one more group that needs to be wrapped up there. We have won the siege of Ava. Wow, that was 25 days? What? Did I read that correctly? 25 days? What? Shocking. And the next siege that's awaiting for us in the south is... It's already on the final area of Japan here, so I see a fort in Heisen, but is that the last one? In any case, we have to fight the Japanese. We cannot do it in Aki, I believe, but let's do it in Iya. Before that, I will move my ships to the Seto Inland Sea so that they cannot reinforce each other. Ideally. Even though they control both sides of the crossing, so maybe they can still cross and fight us with all of their troops. We have reinforcements incoming, right? What's going on here? So I see there's two groups in the same province. Not great. But I guess it doesn't matter because all of you will go to battle. Anyway. Yeah, I'm curious to see how these troops react here. You can see the 31k are trying to escape. They will get the general for the fight, right? Would be silly if they didn't. Actually, they didn't. What's AI doing here? It was a strange decision from them. Kind of overkilling the situation here. Are we gonna stack wipe? Yes, we did. Lovely. Now, I don't think we will wait for Japanese to fight us, but we'll just go for them instead. So it's the final battle of Japan, I believe. Now, Ethiopian separatists have risen, and Turkish separatists have done the same, apparently. I'll take care of the Ethiopian separatists manually. Oh, there's so many Turkish separatists, so you guys will also be fought manually then. That should take care of it. What is our overextension doing? It seems like our governing capacity has stabilized somewhat, so we're at 99.9% overextension again. The problem is if we grab a bunch of lands from Japan again, it's gonna blow up our governing capacity. We can soon buy one more administration expansion, but that's not gonna cut it, is it? We'll figure out what to do with it. I mean, there is always this option to upgrade administrative technology. We're still 7 years ahead of time. Yeah, we'll see about it. Okay, I see the Japanese troops have changed their position in a way where we cannot approach them as easily as we wanted to. So what we will be doing instead, since they were being sneaky, this is the 11th army I'm looking at. You're not the siege one. Where is our 6th siege pip general? It's attached to the 40th army. So you guys will go siege. And also this is your artillery group, I believe. Everybody else can kind of stick around here. Or just spread out a little bit. Now you guys go here. Leave the full group over here. I don't know what I do with the other full group. I guess you guys can go to Aki. So Japan is waiting for their chance to attack us, I guess. I don't think they will get it, because even if we leave 41,000 troops here in Bungo, then we can always retreat from the siege of Heisen. Plus, we have some troops in Tosa and Iyo across the bridge over here. I do want to support the siege from with these ships. Maybe actually with these 37 ships. Then how many troops does Japan have, or at least how many ships do they have? 27. So not big of a threat anymore. Now Bango has been occupied and Io has been occupied by us. You can see that there's some trouble with the rebels in Cairo and Minya. But we did send some groups to help out here, so this like delay shouldn't take too much time. There is also something going on in Teodoro that should be covered with the rebel suppression program. And Naki has been occupied by us. Lots of things happening at the same time. And also we are nearing the maximum monarch power for diplomatic power, which means we will just do some deving for our limited deving buffer that we have. So we'll just do a few clicks here and there, get yeah, around 700 something diplo points. So one of the blockers has been eliminated. Maybe not eliminated, it just got taken over by the rebels, so it's just white, but it's not progressing anymore. And you guys can also help out in Minya, which means the other group doesn't have to go there. They're just a bit too slow for this operation. Okay, let's switch back to Japan. Is there anything else we can do at this point? I believe not. I just want to check that the naval blockade is being applied to this siege here. It is. We have 6 progress from the general, 7 from the artillery. And each siege phase at this point is 21 days. And that's without the hegemon bonus. Quite good. So another great project can be upgraded. The Kazan Kremlin. What it gives us if we upgrade it further is great project upgrade time gets modified, monthly autonomy change gets sped up, and so on. Oh, let's do it anyway. It's kind of good to know at this point because they're not critical upgrades for us. Now, which siege will end first is a good question. It should be Zumo siege, but 21% is also doable with the rolls. Just that the Zumo is, yeah, has much higher chances, as you could see. So the Zumo siege lasted 169 days. Now that it's done, we can move you guys a little bit further. There are no other fortresses to siege, I believe. So we are way ahead of the schedule. This full group can actually go to Chikuzen. And I guess we'll fight the Japanese once we siege down the fortress in Heisen. Not that we could do it earlier unless we go across the sea, but there's no point in grabbing that naval attrition given our current constraints. There is one place where we could send troops using the transport ships to Okinawa though. So maybe this group just takes the transport ships and goes here. Especially since Japan doesn't have enough navy to stop us from doing this. Now let's just enjoy the siege of Eisen, and perhaps the next roll is the one that brings us the victory in this war, kind of symbolically. We still didn't take over this province of Sagami, as you can see. Now you guys should force march. Much faster, trust me. Now Chikuzen has been occupied by Kilwa. And the siege of Eisen has finished. So it is time to go for the final battle against Japan. We do have some negative bonus from the terrain, but we do have enough troops to make sure this negative bonus does not end costing us the battle. And they're putting up a decent fight. I'm not gonna stack wipe them, I imagine, because they will be able to retreat a little bit. Now, the demands of representation leads us to losing either 75 admin power or getting some unrest. It's okay, we'll deal with unrest and keep our admin power. Yeah, you can see that they retreated. We can also claim the Defender of Faith. Finally, it's been 24 months since Delphi took this from us. And we'll go fight the Japanese over there, but maybe the siege group can stay behind and start sieging this Higo province. Again, a little bit of a micro optimization at this point. Now a request for military access from Liege. No, thank you. And we stack wipe the Japanese troops here as well. So we'll just spread out all of these groups. You can see that Japan has... Wait, did I misunderstand anything? Didn't they have like way less ships? I just checked the number of trade ships, I believe. So they have a bunch more ships. I'll just send all of the rest of our fleet here then to help out our transport ships. Because soon they'll be fighting this group of Japanese navy. And there is also the chance to kind of siege down. So, do they have a kind of fortress do they have here? I cannot really see on the list any fortresses, so I guess they don't really have a fortress per se. Now let's put all our fleet together. Massive 490 ships. I do want to grab the transport ships though, again. They have a special mission. So you guys should take our troops to Seoul as well. Can you run away before the Japanese fleet gets here? I believe so. You already left and... Now Japan is giving us a peace offer. We are not interested in this. We want more. Ideally all of the Japanese provinces, but I'm thinking it's a bit too much regarding overextension. Now you guys should go fight the Seoul troops as well. And Seoul has also 7 ships. You trade 1 galley and a bunch of transport ships. So Japanese flagship sunk, giving us 5 prestige, and they did get stack wiped on the navy as well. That should conclude the fight against Japanese. And we have a little bit of a buffer in terms of coring. So we can start repositioning our troops against Shun. We already started it before the Japanese war even, but basically all the troops that were fighting against Japan should also surround the areas of Shun. They have quite a lot of territory and we want to siege them down again as fast as possible. So on the 19th of May only we'll get to Seoul. That takes a little bit of time. Kind of made a slight misjudgment and gave all of our transport ships to this single mission, even though like 50 would have been fine. Yeah, the landing party thing is very time consuming. I think it's good from like a defensive perspective if you have a long coastline, so that the enemies can just take one day and land on your provinces anywhere. So 3 more days until we get there and start sieging. Or well, first there will be a small battle, like a 3 days long, 4 days long battle, even more. Stack wipe that one. And now let us start gathering the troops to take them across the sea to the border with Shun. What are these guys doing here? And what are these guys doing here? They're not autonomously suppressing rebels. I guess they're just doing their thing. Okay, so one group you want to leave on the Japanese islands because I'm sure there will be rebels. So you will be the lucky ones doing this rebel suppression. I'll set up the program as soon as we end the war, because then we can mark all of the areas here also under the rebel suppression. Now we have some troops that are scattered into two, or split into 2 parts. Those we should reunite as soon as possible. We can take across 262,000 troops. Not sure if that's in one go or not, but we'll find out in a bit. So it's due to the changes in your country, your states will no longer pursue the expand into Ishavan. Okay. Apparently we lost a bunch of claims. What happened to Persia? Okay, something happened. I guess we lost claim, and therefore we lost also the state agenda. Small things. So my question was, how many groups can we fit on 262 transport ships? If it's 41k per troop, that should be 6 groups with one go. So we basically need to gather 6 groups onto one province. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all of them. Are force marching as well? No. Okay, we'll meet up somewhere in Eisen, for example. Have a higher supply limit due to the fortress. 56, well, still just enough for one group. Almost 2. So there is the last group that's slacking behind a little bit. Okay. Everybody on board. And the next war is waiting. Thinking again about Wenju. It's like our go-to place as of late. Oh. Did we like miscalculate or what? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, okay, there's a scroll bar, I didn't notice. Yeah, one of them wanted to stay behind. But nope, everybody goes to war. There's, I guess, 2 more groups we want to take to the war, which are like on these islands here. On the lands of So and Japan. We also wrapped up the fight of, or the siege of Tsushima. Now, let's get you separated quickly so you don't cause a lot of attrition. And just fill out the provinces in a row here. Again, we started doing it from near this Korean border. Transport ships then can go to Ryukyu Islands, bring one more group from there. And I think we'll already start the war against Shun and Korea. We lost some general. Okay, from Europe, it's okay. Japan is eager to give up already. Well, these two groups are not vital for our the beginning of the next fight, so could kind of like start the fight already. I do want to check that Korea doesn't have any claims here. They do have a permanent claim. Do they have permanent claims? It's a bit of a problem that Korea has claims for the Japanese territories. It's only a problem if we can take them in the first place. So let's see. Let's just check out what we can grab from the Japanese. Maybe I'm being optimistic that we could grab all of them. So let's sort by overextension, for example. We're aiming for 100%. You can see we still have plenty of war score to play with. 59%, 60, 70, 76. So not exactly everything. So all of it would fit inside the war score, but it doesn't fit inside the overextension cap. So what I want to check is, so if we take away and all the provinces that are near Korea, we get to 124. So it looks like some piece of Japan will remain. We do want to have like a continuous coastline so that we can suppress the rebels if they spawn without having any issues. Maybe this is gonna be the case, 99.6%. And I'm pretty sure Korea doesn't have any claims past this point. Like, basically this is the area we were concerned about. But since we're not gonna be grabbing it, it's not gonna be an issue for the upcoming war. We still get the hefty chunk of Japan. Yeah, so we're ready to go to war with Korea and Shun. The question now might be which is gonna be the main target. I see Shun is fighting actually Russia and Kamchadals. Korea is not fighting anyone. Can we just declare on them? No. Shun is still interested in joining this war. When we talk about troop counts, then Shun has 200k with nothing in reserve. But just the fact that they're fighting in the north helps us a little bit. For some reason, I like the target of Korea more, but what about Shun allies? So they're only allied with Korea and you. The troops of Korea also 200,000. So we're talking about 400,000 troops plus some extra from their smaller allies. You can see actually the total numbers here are, yeah, around 200 something thousand. I think we'll go for Shun still. We will not declare Korea as co-belligerent. You and Wu could be co-belligerent. We can clean up our coastline over here. Yeah, I like this setup, so we'll have imperialism as the casus belli again. So that's 200, 300, 400 something thousand troops. Should be able to fight them with the number of troops we have stationed around here. What we can also do is we can kind of take over the lands of Yu and Wu right away, so we can kind of force peace with them separately. But also just make sure that they don't spawn any additional troops here. Okay, but if this is gonna be the war setup, just to make sure that we don't have problems with you and Wu, I will send a couple of groups to help out here. There are 2 full groups that we fortunately have nearby to help out the mercenaries. And there are some sieges to be done here. No, there should be a fort. Not a fort. So fort level 1 here. And the fort level 9 here. Okay, so 5 groups is a little bit of an overkill, but we will go for it anyway. You guys can just a quick event notification here. So trade company is unhappy. What did we promise? Swahili International Company is extremely unhappy with the lack of support from Kilwa. Several years ago they asked us to help expand their borders into neighboring provinces. We even claimed one of them, but so far there has been no progress in this matter. So they want us to go to Pontianak, which is belonging to revolutionary Spain. We are not planning to attack it at this point. Shall we support them in other ways or just take some hits in terms of local unrest, trade power modifier? And let's just support them in other ways, I guess. Yeah, so they will stop complaining about this. Now, one thought I had regarding the transport ships is that I want to split these into 2 groups and take one of them to the land of So. Because I want to take our troops away from there before we do for peace, so that we don't get stuck there. And you guys can also join the war in the mainland. Hopefully you grab the right transport ships for that. We're almost ready to get started. I do want to check one more thing regarding our governing capacity and the buildings that we can build. Any town hall is of use, and any state house should also be helpful. And just to double check, our governing capacity has around 50 free points available. Cutting it close. Yeah, we have this emergency option of just upgrading the administrative technology. How is our hegemony status doing? So we're slowly progressing. We're at 12.5%. We have gained already like 1.2% extra movement speed, reduced land attrition, reduced national unrest. Of course, the monthly military power has been ongoing. War exhaustion is being decreased. And also the province war score cost is already in effect. Curious to see what the siege ability will be doing. But I don't think we'll be able to use it in the upcoming war against Korea because this war should not last that long. Okay, so these troops still waiting for their transport ship. Did it get hijacked on the way? I feel like it did. Okay, so let's rather do it this way, that I will just ask them to be evacuated. You guys can stay with the rest of the fleet. And perhaps also dock somewhere where you can be upgraded and repaired. Now the size of Korean Navy is 151 ships. Completely manageable. There will be a small battle against the ships of So here. Should not be a problem. I would be surprised if we lose any ships in this fight. We actually gained a little bit. So 2 transports and 1 trade ship. Two groups have ended up in the same destination. Not sure how that happened. Would not have been me, right? Okay. Are we ready to go? Question. There is another event, Cossack aggression, that happened. So we can demand that these Cossacks be brought into justice. The event Cossack aggression happens. Or the merchant guild loses 10 loyalty. Amir state loses 10 loyalty. And Kazan loses 1 development. So let's demand that the Cossacks be brought to justice then, I guess. The Russian response was that the Russian is that they refuse to take responsibility for the raids into our country, claiming that they are unable to control the Cossacks themselves. And we care little for such excuses. Apparently. And we gained a border friction casus belli against them. Lovely. The coring of the main bulk of the province is just finished. It's a lot of clicking to do. There are some provinces that claim that we can make them into states, but we will add them to the great company instead. Actually, there was just one of them. Okay, and there is another great project we can upgrade. The city of Jerusalem. At maximum level, it will give more missionaries and more missionary strength versus heretics. You know what? We're gonna just make it a quick finish, this one. So stage 1 is done. I was a bit optimistic, so stage 2 should be done now. And here comes stage 3. Okay, so the holy city of Jerusalem was built in like 3 days. How is our missionary strength against heretics doing? So 10.5%. I don't think it's even taken into account the Jerusalem one. Probably gonna kick in the next month. Okay. Now let's review the situation with our generals. We will be recruiting a few more for sure. Might be a bit louder than desired. So we recruited at least 5 generals. I see a few groups that don't have a general yet. That situation will be improved. Now, is there any other group that needs a general, or are we good to go? Well, this group doesn't have a general, but I don't think they need one for the rebel suppression anyway. This group of mercenaries doesn't have one. I don't think they need it against war. You either. There's another great project that we can do. So Mecca, and Mecca would give us a bunch of religious unity and war score versus cost versus other religions, minus 10%. I think we'll do a quick update on this one as well, because the war score bonus seems to be useful. So that's level 2. Do a few quick updates with the money. And that's level 3. We will sue for peace with Japan once these 2 corings are also done, but we will declare war already. So Shun, we are coming for you. Imperialism casus belli. You and Wu will be considered co-belligerents. And the troop counts haven't changed significantly. It's still around like 400,000 troops that they have altogether. We should have more than that. And yeah, let's go. Another war against Sun. Now, first things first, let's take care of Wu and you. So I will send the group of mercenaries. Well, we cannot really send them yet. We'll need our ships probably to support the crossing into Qingqiao. But that means the mercenaries will go to Limqiao first. We will start the siege of Canton. Did we bring 6 pip general over here? Oh, we have one. Perfect. So you guys will go siege here. You has just... Okay, they have 4 provinces, so who is the one that only has 2, I guess, or even 1 province remaining? You guys will just loan your siege to the other group here. You will get there by the 7th of October, and the main siege group will be there by the 4th of October, which works really well for us. We will try to kind of ignore Korea for the time being. Should build a fortress here. Well, it's a bit late, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, Korea might be an issue. Just thinking if I should keep like 200,000 troops or so around here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups would be the case. We could make it so that some of them are at least sieging Xinjiang. What's the best siege pips we have here? So 3 is the maximum actually. So you guys will be sieging Xinjiang and getting artillery support from these guys. These groups will remain still here, but the others I'll send, for example, to siege Datong. Support comes from this artillery. This also force march. I forgot to do the same with this group over here. And the next siege combo will go to Luan apparently. Yeah, both of them have 2 siege pip generals. Guys will have forced marching artillery and just supporting down here. There is one more siege we can start over to the south. I see there is this Anjing province that is a good candidate for that. Do we have a... Okay, we do have the second 6 siege pip general over here. And you will get support from this group, for example. So force march. The remaining infantry will just take care of occupying some provinces around. So I don't know where Shun troops are, but I imagine they're way in the north. Fighting Russia, maybe even like close to Europe. So we might even visit or see them popping up in the European lands over here. But wherever they will be, we'll just take care of them. Sun pause and let's continue. So Shun has also accepted some sort of India tariff from Ming. Now we could grab that condottieri right away, can't we? Since Ming is effectively a participant at this point. You're going to Ningguo. I see. Can we go straight through? And even if you're heading towards Anjing, you can go also straight instead of in a circle. A call for peace from Japan. You just have to wait a little bit longer before we accept this. It's October, November, December, just 2 months. Be done by Christmas. You can see that Ming Condottieri are probably regretting their choices at this point. Would be nice if you could stack wipe them, but the numbers are not that impressive. Now it's a better. But okay, so we did stack wipe them. Brilliant. Korean troops are something we have to keep in mind here, and we do have a fortress near their border. I wanna make this into a state. And the idea is that we wanna put a defensive edict here. So in case the Koreans do decide to start fighting us, it's a good place to fight against them, you know. Did I mess up anything regarding the siege in Anjing? I don't think so. Only these groups can get out of Ming and do something useful. So I can see that you actually has a decent amount of troops in their position. So before going there, I will likely just wait until the mercenaries take over Lim Chao. And you should also be force marching. I will not make these guys to force march so the mercenaries can support them in a timely manner. And maybe you guys also, just in case. No need to cause any setbacks from there. Okay, so what's interesting is that the Korean troops are passing through Hetuala. We could fight them there with potentially like... It's also mountains. Yeah, we do want to fight them there. So everybody has been waiting for the moment where you can fight Korean troops. This is like the best time to do it. Gonna be a fun fight, I hope. Because of the mountainous territory. I also want to check if we are gonna have a fight, because maybe the fight would be because this group will arrive there. No, they will be arriving there on the 10th of November. The battle will take place on the 7th of November. So it's actually the group that's leaving that's gonna have the fight. But maybe the rest will also join. And I will consider if I'll stop sieging here to bring more reinforcements to the battle. So we have 2 battles that are upcoming. And the first one to start is the one against Korea, so we'll take a look at this one first. Enjoy the show, so to speak. Only in 6 days that it will start. And decided that their other troops should not go to that battle. Which is reasonable, because I think from the terrain only they will have 1 or 2 negative bonus. It's mountains. And of course, the core construction will be done on the 1st of December, so not gonna be a thing yet. Let's check the bonuses or negative bonuses for Korea. You can see that they're at -2 because of the terrain. So it is a really good fortress here. Thought we didn't have any fortresses on the border against Korea, but I have quite a good one. But they did bring like 100,000 troops. We are outnumbering them. Also, the Battle of King Chao already finished. I completely missed it. Too bad. But that also means these two groups can start moving north, maybe. We are lacking siege for this region here. But once we're done with sieging Canton, we'll be able to reposition them to the north against Shun. So I would be surprised if we would have lost this battle. And yeah, Korea already retreated. This means we can kind of position ourselves back and take it as a win. Not much more that we can do here. We will leave this fortress region free again just to bait them a little bit more. They are now at 192,000 troops, but they have plenty in reserve, so they will recoup quickly. What's going on with Nanjing? Why don't I see like a progress bar here? Siege broken, or I don't have enough troops, or attacker morale is low. Is it somehow bugged out? I'll just send troops back for a second and then start sieging again. I've never seen this before. There's literally no progress for the siege. Good news is we have gained the last core province that we were waiting for, so finally time to make peace with Japan. We also have it to Ala that we could turn into a core if there wasn't a missionary doing things there. For a missionary you can come back. Okay, you can just join back. I didn't know Korea has a core there. But Japan, how are you doing? We did have a cool peace proposal for you. It's still in effect in the same form as before. So we will grab all these lands. And we also get the Fall of Kyoto event, which means we gain 20 prestige and 50 of each type of monarch powers points. Brilliant stuff. We will not go over maximum with any of these, but we will get close. And this was the second Kilwan Japanese imperialist war. Notifications are very much off screen from, or off center from the screen. So the casualties were evenish. And the construction in Tango has been cancelled. Now, I'm very curious how our overextension is doing. You can see we're just a little bit... Actually, just a little bit over at the moment. What we can do is maybe do one click of government reforms and expand administration. Now we're kind of within the governing capacity limit, actually. Okay, but we're also core everything that we have here. Can we build some more town halls? Yes, we can. So I'm just not sure this governing capacity number is up to speed. So just agreed to a peace deal, so it might change still. So Japan still lives on, just in a slightly more compact version of itself. Okay, no more fun wars for the time being. The sieges will proceed. Yeah, we cannot make this province into a core, so I'll just close the notification so it doesn't bother us for the remaining war against Shun and Korea and so on. Now we did forget to kind of take over Kinshasa province, and they are training something here now. Okay, so no troops, no random troops from there. Can you guys, like, are you maybe exiled? Yeah, that's why the siege didn't start. So I need to get back to something that we control. We at least do forced march. So please go back to our territories and we'll take you to the siege properly this time. Must have been that we lost access to Ming while we were fighting the Gondioteri, and that's when our troops got exiled, and that's why the siege wasn't progressing anymore. Not a bug, I guess, but still an odd situation that happened. Okay, the siege of Gaichao is over. Perfect. We'll take claim of this King Chao area as well, and then we'll be done with you. And after that we should also be done with Wu once this siege ends over here. We stacked wiped the navy of you. These guys could actually start the siege of Yangling. It's good. We have some backup for the guys working on Canton at the moment. What is Korea doing here? Do we want to keep an eye on if they ever like go to head to Allah again, because it's a really lovely place to have fights against them. Okay. I see we have another siege able group that can go to Yanling. And yeah, we'll just send 20,000 artillery to support you there. Let's force march and head on. The remaining infantry group will just take care of... Can you take care of anything? Not really, it's like fortresses all around the southern border of Shun against us. Okay, the siege of Canton is also done. We might as well fight their ships a little bit. But we do want to take down the Wu troops here as well. We have like one province here, you can barely see that Macau is ours, but it is. And at the moment looks like Wu has... Actually, Yu has taken control of it. Okay, a peace offer from you. We're not gonna take separate pieces from those two small countries because we don't have the overextension capacity at the moment. So, Battle of Macau, stacked wipe Wu's last troops. Also, their navy is gone now. Basically, they're off the map. And yeah, Yonling we started to siege already. Well, we will be starting to siege. I guess we'll go for Bozhou next. The artillery will take over our province, and then we'll head you guys also to this Bozhou fortress. Now the sieges against Shun are taking around 35 days, so they are very defensive. 50% defensiveness, 25% local defensiveness. And yeah, our siege ability cannot exactly match that at the moment. The siege of Zhenjiang though is done. This gives us the ability to maybe move forward if we want to, but hey, look at who has fallen to our trap potentially. Okay, so everybody who is around here, I want you, all of you guys, just head to Aya. Perhaps we'll have another great battle against Korea here. I see some rebels have spawned over here, so we'll have to delay the siege of Bozhou for a little bit, take care of the rebels, and then we'll proceed again. So how many troops are you gonna amass against us, Korea? You can see they're bringing basically everything they have. So it will be a decent battle, I imagine. Now there is a little bit of a question if we're sequencing our troops correctly. The siege of Anjing is also done. We basically debugged it and now it's done already. You guys are also like exiled on the Shun lands, aren't you? So our troops are also arriving on a slightly timely fashion. Rigorous researchers are bringing us a lot of power in all three categories. What do we want to do with all of that diplomatic power though? Give me just a moment. I will check out the governing capacity. So we could do 8 clicks apparently for using up the diplomatic monarch power. We'll do development and we'll do maybe even just do it in Cape then. Yeah. And let's enjoy the battle against Korea here. They do have -2 to the dice rolls, which is really critical. Their discipline is higher though. Lost some of our discipline on the way from the last war somehow. We still have 60,000 troops on the way. They will join at a reasonable time. I do expect us to win this fight. You can see their morale is taking heavy damage. Of course, if rolls are just bad and we're unlucky, we might lose this one still, but looks like at this point it would be surprising if we do lose it. The siege of Tatong is done. What's the next siege for you guys? I guess you'll go south a little bit, so Xi'an maybe? I can just wrap some areas around here. So you can see that Korean troops are running away in each direction. They did lose like, what is it, 30,000, 46,000, 47, 57, 61,000 troops. And we lost 55,000, but we have way much more in reserves than they did. They do have the ability to take half of their reserves and recoup, but we will also be doing the same, so we'll just spread our troops again around in a way that they don't double stack anywhere. There is this artillery group that needs to go down here. And we will leave the siege or the fortress itself free. Seems like it works well to bait the Koreans. 1 or 2 more wars like this more and they'll be drained of their manpower. In the meantime, we just keep grabbing more fortresses. These guys are also moving south. Are the Shun troops anywhere, like seen anywhere around, or? Because if they stop fighting Russian troops, then they can start taking back their lands, and then they'll be in trouble in a way. Because they have fights going on from 2 different sides of their country. Okay, so you guys go take over Ningguo. Also Huizhou. Something we can target. Now different countries are looking for military access, which we will not be giving. There is no incentive to do that. Our war score is at 32% already. How much of this is from the battles? And also, where is their capital of Shun? I guess I can get to it if I just click on the name of the country. So Lanzhou is here. You can go for the capital. I guess you two should go to the capital before Xi'an. We can just grab some free war score from it once we grab it. Yeah, we're taking control of some additional provinces here. Also, we can continue with our project against the Bozhou fortress. Everything in the south has been conquered. Freedom of the press, either national arrest or lose innovativeness. It's okay. Actually, it's for the whole country. We'll just lose some innovativeness. Minor change. The rebels have crossed our border. We have also finished the siege of Wuhan. So I guess you will go to Xi'an instead. Just grab all the provinces around. Oh, there's a few more extra groups that can do some work here. Koreans are not interested in the next battle just yet. They are recovering quickly. Can you go to... still no provinces that you could take over, right? Maybe Luzhou? And Jiangsu? Better than just chilling there. So we have won the siege of Yanling. Also some battle against the rebels. The next siege will be Chongqing. And this also freed up some more provinces that we can grab. Capital is already at 49%. The length of each siege phase is 50 days. Wow. Their local defensiveness is 75%. Shun is really pushing the defensiveness. I mean, they can do that, but it's just gonna slow us down a little bit. Korean troops have reappeared. Waiting for them to start the next siege. Okay, so Xi'an is almost instantly done. Ah, it's level 2 fortress, that's why it was so quick. We'll also take Chengdu with you guys then. No, we won't, it's too far. So it's gonna be Zhengshui instead. Yeah, it's a level 8 fortress, so a little bit more to chew on. Hangzhou has been occupied by us. Brilliant. You guys can keep pushing forward. We are receiving a peace offer from Wu. Thank you. So there was a miracle that happened. And we can gain 50 administrative power. In case I believe the religion in Murder will change to Sunny. Yeah, and one option is to just grab a 50% cost advisor for yearly prestige. We'll go for the administrative power. Something that would be considered always lacking. Okay, I also see there's some rebels that spawned in Luan, trying to siege back the fortress that's under our control. I think I'll send this group to fight them over there. Yeah, we will not be grabbing this province of Runing just now, but it almost sounds like running. But it's okay. Now, Yanzhou is gonna be ours. Look at charlatans in revolutionary Spain has shown discontent among our population. Good for them. I just have to constantly keep my eye on what's going on around here. The good thing is, I guess the Korean troops cannot fight our troops directly because of the fortress in Hetuaya. So that means there's not like an imminent danger unless they go in a circle or something like that. Clearly they're not doing it, they're just standing near our borders here. Now the siege of Chengdu will also follow soon, but these two groups can Why can't you go to Tongren though? Looks like it should be possible, but fine. You'll go to Wuling instead, and you'll just... Yeah, you'll go to... You can go to Chengdu and then Daozhou, I see. A little bit of a sneaky shortcut. We're fighting against the rebels here. Also, the town halls are wrapping up in like 70 days. What's the situation with our gardening capacity? Still under control? Since the rebels got kicked off the fort, you guys are free to just keep sieging. We are now at 38%. And we will have to go for the fortresses to the east of Shan as well, because we want to grab the coastline. Okay, so you guys go to Xuzhou. Everybody else is doing something at least. Probably the next siege to fall. Oh, we already know that it's the capital, apparently. Yeah, Shanghai fort is waiting for you. It's also a level 2 fortress, so it will be taken down fast. And then Hami will be the tough one to crack after that. Kind of quick wins first and then the slow wins. This group can just run around Junlands. Jun still has not shown their troops to us, which is great for us. Not so good for them in the long run. Now we do have another siege group available. I want you guys to start heading north, I guess. For example, the Barak Fortress could be your target. Xuzhou has been occupied by us. Brilliant. Oh, there's one more group that's just standing here doing nothing. At least move closer to the sieges, so once they're done, you can help out grabbing the other provinces. So, who is offering peace again? Sorry, we don't need it. There's a great project we can upgrade. It's the Al-Azhar University, and at maximum level it would give us possible advisors +2, idea cost -5, and also gain the innovativeness back. Nothing critical. Let's get it started at least. Why is Shun not doing anything? I also don't see them occupying the Russian territories. So not sure what they're doing. What's their action plan? They could cause us some issues with their 200,000 troops. Maybe they lost the troops? Nah. They didn't. Okay, you guys go to Jingzhou. Nanyang is a place that needs to be taken. And that's pretty much it for the time being. So Wuling is ours, Daozhou is ours. Yichang can be conquered still. And maybe Xining, yeah. You can see that the fortress in Zhangye is gonna fall fast. It's just a level 2 fortress. But the one in Hami is a bit trickier. The Bourgeois is done? Brilliant. That was the one that was stopping us from going directly to Chengdu. And it also opens up a few provinces nearby. We can propagate religion in the Polynesian Triangle. which we will gladly do. What's our money situation? We're gaining 2,144 ducats per month. Anyang is done. Kind of want to send the bigger group just as a reinforcement to the Barak fortress. As if the Shun troops do show up, 200k can be a handful. And I'm sure the other troops that we have here. Also the mercenaries can go help out there. We'll be going to Setsan instead. So you can see Chengdu is instantly at 71%. Or is it the second round? Because it's only a level 2 fortress. There's a tough cookie in Chongping. You go to Yichang. Now the war score is at 54%. I'm just wondering when Korea is gonna make their next attempt to fight us. They still haven't recovered all their losses. Maybe that's why they are not coming yet. So we have occupied Bingliang as well. And the siege of Barak took, what, 28 days? That's a low-level fortress, isn't it? So, I guess it's time for you guys to head towards east, go to Ninguta, and just hope that both the Korean troops and Shun troops don't end up there at the same time. I will give the mercenaries a new general, just in case. So we will go to Alchuka instead, and there was another big group that was on the way, wasn't there? I guess it's these guys. We'll go to Idala then. So 71% should be the next roll. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll take this group all the way to Bijin. No, we cannot. But we can take you closer at least. So maybe not like all of the troops. So the 20k artillery will reunite with their infantry counterpart. That can be considered to be the one in Xining. Our core construction regarding the Japanese province is going nicely. I will assign this autonomous rebel suppression because I'm sure some will spawn while we're warring Shun and Korea here. I will assign all of these provinces to your area of responsibility. I would be actually surprised if none of the rebels spawn on the provinces that we took from the last war. So Jaunpur is asking for military access. I don't know why I should give it to you. There's no benefits for it to us, and we get the new merchant apparently. So let's check out the trade screen. It's been a while since we received one. Let's actually sort by our current trade power. So we have a merchant everywhere around here. And the first place that we don't have it yet in is Beijing. So the new guy will go there. What are you looking at? Please go to grab some more provinces here. Darju cannot be taken, but Xinjiang, yes. And that means that there's nothing for you to do here. I'm getting a bit paranoid about the enemy troops. Where are they? Just like a free war at this point. Only Korea was bothering to do anything for Shun. So the siege of Chongqing. Each phase is taking 35 days, which is decent considering all the bonuses Shun has against us. I believe they're gonna be full at the next roll. Grab Jingzhou. That means all of the southern Shun is under our control, giving us already like 60% plus war score. Yeah, I think just enjoy the siege in Pyongyang. Don't have exactly the best siege commander here. You can see we still have some room for improvement. The 6 pip siege general is somewhere else at the moment. Now the Korean troops have vanished from here, which is slightly alarming, and that probably means that we should reposition our troops a little bit. So I'll move them to the other side of Hetuala. You guys can go here. Somebody goes to Yehe. Everybody moving already? Seems like it. Fengxiang has been occupied by us. And yeah, you guys can keep heading north. Another peace offer. Aha, the Korean troops have been found. Now the question is, are they gonna try to approach our troops in Ningguta or not? It was quite timely that we sent all of our troops a bit closer to the siege. They should not be incentivized to attack us. They're so outnumbered. We're just having our presence here to kind of bully them away. Or just encourage them to find some other activities than to attack us. I guess what we will be doing going from here will just be pushing all of this wave of troops along the coastline. We want to take the Beijing and probably Miyagazan fortresses. Okay, and we did grab actually 2 groups of rebels spawned. Didn't I give you guys a leader? I kind of remember I perhaps recruited one, but you didn't get one, so you'll grab it now. Better late than before the rebel fight. Or better for the rebel fight than late. I guess that's the motto here. So another siege is done. I'll split up the siege group over here as well, so you guys can go join the group of infantry there. Send... Wow, there's another rebel spawn. Where are you guys heading? They're going to Jingzhou. Okay, I'll meet you there. You guys can be merged back together into one group and go to Yangzhou, for example. So we have 2 fortress sieges going on in the southwestern part of Shun. And one more in the east here. And Korea is running somewhere. Guess it's a bit concerning. Maybe they might wanna encircle us. Seems like we've reached the walls for this fortress. Yeah, if I had to guess, they will just run in a circle, either meet up with Shun troops and fight us all together, or if they don't do that, then I don't know what their plan is. %5 war score. Also reaching maximum monarch power in the diplomatic power category, which means it's time to do some deving again. And I like the way we went last time, so let's just keep deving capital 2 clicks should do it. Now there's a bunch of provinces we have grabbed here in the south. And we'll have to regroup here as well, just to make the groups a little bit tighter together on the map in case Jun or Korea decides to attack us. Yeah. So 42% success chance for this siege. This means that in around 9 days we can maybe take control of the fortress. Now the siege of Hami is also done. And this gives us the opportunity to just take over all the provinces around. You guys should rejoin one of the infantry groups, but they're too far away. So just siege around a little bit here. You can see that we cannot go to Chagatai areas. We can go to Jangar areas. But this means that the western side of Shun should be safe for us. And yes, we did get the siege of Ninguta done. You can see 120,000 Koreans are heading to Barak. Does that mean we can just come and stack wipe you there, maybe? How about we send all of our troops to head towards that region? Once you get closer, we'll decide what to do with you, but the siege phase itself is 21 days. Can we get there on time? Because I would like to fight in Barak. Well, it's steppes, so not as bad as mountains, but ideally we want to get the dice roll bonus from there. One thought I have is that maybe Korean troops will be too afraid to continue sieging and start running away from us. We're definitely coming at high speed to try to attack them. But the fight will take place on the 20th, and yeah, I think they'll get lucky with the siege phase. It will be a numbers game. It will be both Shun and Korea fighting our several hundred thousand troops. And feeling the thrill of the battle. I just hope they don't get... Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you, the RNGesus gave us the dice roll that we needed. Also, there's this event of good government policies, meaning that we can gain 50 administrative power, 15 government reform progress, or just ducats. Now, I do want us to get administrative power, but we'll be kind of blowing up our cap, maximum power cap, and that's why we likely need to invest just a little bit before we grab the admin power from here. That also means the next month we'll be hitting the cap again, so yeah, what can we do with the admin power? We'll just do some more deving, I guess. Yeah, let's do a few clicks so we have space for a few months. Don't want to do 800 like we do with the diplomatic power. So over 200,000 troops plus 200,000 troops. Let's see. There is no negative bonus from Korea. But the negative bonus that they have is less troops. So even though they have better, or somewhat better stats regarding fighting, then us just outnumbering them should give us the victory, as you could see. So maybe let's also try to go for the Shun troops. Chase them around a little bit. We'll be done with the core construction on the 2nd of March of year 1802. Like 3/4 of a year to go. I guess we'll be grabbing all the war score before that already. Okay, so Shun's one group got stack wiped. What about the other one? I think we can do the same for them. They're walking to the next province really slowly. So the fight will take place in 10 days. And another siege is done. Brilliant. And I left this area a little bit unsupervised. Fix that mistake. Or oversight. And yeah, you can go to Aegean and there's also this ending that has not been conquered by us. Let's just take a quick look at the numbers of troops. So the enemy still has 300 something thousand troops altogether. We're planning to take care of 33k troops. That's gonna be, well, ideally stack wiped. I can't imagine them escaping this huge swarm of 40,000 400,000 troops. Once they get the bad roll, it's gonna be really rough. So you can see they actually got one. We need one more bad roll in order for them to get stacked wiped. Don't think we got it, so they might be able to escape us. Nope, they got stack wiped. Can we go for these guys as well? Yeah, so we're just chasing down Shun's troops. One by one, or 30,000 at a time. Another group was reassemblable. I'll just send you to the next 3 provinces that I remember. %73% war score. Like, let me just do some markup now. Let's sue for peace. And then we want to go along the coastline, right? So something like this. Then then there is this country called Nivk. We need to go around. And then maybe we'll just try to isolate the rest of Shun from Russia. Maybe make a circle around Shun. Still only at 47% overextension. So that makes Shun encircled by us. Now the question is, can we kind of... we cannot. I was hoping maybe we could grab the areas of Yu and Wu as well, but not fully like this. So if we leave the border with Chagatai, that would be fine. So those are really expensive provinces, I guess. But like in the interest of having a consistent coastline, we would have to do something like this. So 99.6%. And we get like the coastline of Shun plus the border between them and Russia fully. These 2 provinces seem to be connected as well, so we have like a continuous way to run around Shun. We just don't have like a full circle around them. And we get to clean up our coastline over here. And I like this plan. And they're already happy with it, we just need to wait until we finish coring of the Japanese provinces. We'll just have some fun on the way. So the 1801 Yellow River of Flood event happened. Some devastation in various provinces. And the Ice Grand Temple. Jingu will be removed from ice. And ice gets religious center until the end of the game, giving local missionary strength -5. Okay. I'm not quite sure how that helps or doesn't help, but yeah, the missionary strength -5% if it's our province is not helping us for sure. Now some of the troops are still lacking here. please take over a few more provinces. Alxa has been occupied. Yes, lovely. Also, we stack wiped another group of Shun. Let's maybe go to... Are you guys going to Albazin? And you're not locked in yet. So maybe if we wait for a few more days, they're gonna lock in and we can stack wipe those as well. Okay, now they're locked in. We are force marching, so we should be there regardless of what they do. And be able to stack wipe them as well. Now you guys... Siege province is already like the Bada in Charan. We'll also take Balikul. And basically we're done with the western part of Shun. Once we get somebody to Shazagat. Okay, Aegean is ours. So yeah, I don't think I sent anyone to Shazakt yet. And I can see we are again reaching maximum monarch power when it comes to administrative power. Wow, all sieges or all provinces are going down fast. And in a row here. So, ooh, what is going on here? Like, we have 400,000 troops. I cannot imagine them winning, despite us having such a low morale. Just enjoy the battle here, I guess. Main question, stack wiped. Yep. So we did grab a lot of army tradition and caused a lot of damage to the enemy troops, but now it's time to kind of take the forced march off, spread out a little, and recover the morale. So you can see there's a bunch of troops in the same province. Like a lot of them. The dots down there don't show the real picture. And I'll just spread them out across the provinces here. The bigger group should probably stay closer to where the Korean troops went. The others will just go around everywhere. Maybe Udi is a destination. I don't think I sent anyone to Onangol yet. And there's 2 more groups left. We'll just take control of all these territories once we're here. And we're just waiting for the month of March next year. Or even May, so that all the coring is done for the Japanese provinces and we can grab a bunch of Shun areas and just liquidate Yu and Wu from the map. You see Korea still has decent amount of troops. Shun had 200k to begin with, but just us hunting them down left them with 88,000 troops. Like 2 full groups. Now Balikul has been occupied by us as well. And I did send somebody to Chagat. So we need to split you guys up. And it's a good thing that we can reunite the artillery group with their infantry counterparts in Jumen. Just want to check that Korea is not going to snipe our troops while they're recovering here. Oh, Chazagat. Jumen. All good. Take a look at the big picture. We kind of occupied half of Shun already. Okay, Halacha is ours. Yeah, the Japanese, or sorry, the Spanish colonialists are doing something regarding the casus bellis and stuff and trade. Now, yes, near maximum monarch power. I think, again, our capital deserves a click for this, even though maybe that's too much spent. If we check how much our capital would be per click, that's 158 administrative power. But we need to hold off until the month of May, so that's February, March, April, May, 4 months. So we want to be somewhere around 850 points. Actually, if we add it all together, one click on Cape is fine. Yeah, let's do that. So by the time we'll be ready for the next set of provinces, we'll have near maximum monarch power again, but no more than that. Okay, we are grabbing all the provinces around here, north of Shun. They did have a war against Russia. I'm not sure if they gained anything from it. Probably Shun should have gained something. Maybe they made Russia release some countries. I don't see this to be the case though. So perhaps we just interrupted their war in a way that couldn't grab much land from them. Okay, so yeah, we'll just wait a little bit longer until we siege the next set of provinces. You can also see Korea is kind of trying to grab some areas back. But it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Religious center in Floresy has done its work. Yes, I know you want to have a peace deal already, but we're not ready yet. Okay, we can reunite this group. You guys can move to the east as well, I guess. Now somebody go to Xilingol. Also, Setsen has not been targeted yet. And you can see our March of Libertatia is also doing its work with 18 troops here. First set of provinces has been caught. I will have to do the tough work of adding them all to a trade company, so bear with me as we go through this process. I will rather do it like that by memory I'll just click all of the provinces I remember we took. And then can be less clicks than 3 or 4 per province. So we also took Kyoto from the last war, that's what I remember. He is ours. Also this fortress in Yamato was something we sieged. Yeah, we did get a decent chunk of Japan, not all of it. But enough to make the next war with Japan, maybe the last one. We have 19 years remaining. The truce with them will end in 1809, so we should have plenty of time to wrap up this area of the world. Okay, so there's another province over here. Let's now use the flag to help us out. Yeah, sure. Okinawa was also on the menu. You can see the missionaries are trying to convert some provinces that are now part of the trade company. Now all of these troops here, I can see that Chun is afraid to come back to their own country. We'll keep it that way. Once these two provinces are done coring, then we'll have to run back to our provinces anyway, because everybody will be exiled on the lands of Shun. Okay, now we'll take a look at the last core. It will be done by the 3rd of April of this year. Okay, lovely. Any day now. We also can upgrade some great projects. So the Himei Castle gives us some decent bonuses. We're not gonna quick finish it, even though we could. Now there you can see a bunch of rebels actually spawned on Shun areas. they're not doing so great in terms of like war exhaustion and stuff. Let's sue for peace. Let's just double check that everything is fine. First of all, our overextension is at 0%, just the way we like it. And it's going to be at 99.6%. We will grab all of what is left of Yu and Wu. You can see here, Wu just was a one province minor at this point. And then the coastline of Shun should be a continuous one all the way across around Nifk. And all of the border between Russia and Shun will be ours. And that's all we can grab from this war. GG. So the second Kilwa Shun imperialist war has ended. Losses were higher on our side. By a lot, actually. But we have the manpower to spare. Yeah, you can see Shun is much smaller now. Let's start the mandatory coring process. Let's see how much admin power we have remaining. So 468 still available. We are not over our governing capacity, at least as of now, which is great news. We can also upgrade at least one center of trade. And I do want to make sure we're building town halls wherever possible. So let's take a quick tour with the buildings. You can see there's a few provinces that can use a town hall. Check out the rest of the tabs as well. Wow, Constantinople gets 34 extra trade with this click. We'll just do all the provinces that can have an upgraded Great Depot. Then great mosques will have to follow after the production is done. At least a few provinces could do it. Also, the local manpower modifier, Ujoro for example, is quite a decent increase in manpower. Again, no manufacturers to be built anymore, no state houses, and no furnaces. So that settles the building situation. And we have a bunch of exiled armies, but we will settle this already at the next stream. So to summarize it, what we did this round around was that we went for Japan first. You can see not much is left of Japan. We were hoping we would grab all of it, but that wasn't the case. And after that we went to war against Shun, Korea, Wu and Yu. And you can see that Wu and Yu are gone from our coastline, so it's a nice green coastline without any interruptions. Daiviet and Mongma are probably potentially good next targets for the next time we play as a warm-up, and then we'll have to set our sights either to Russia or some countries in the Middle East, I guess. Have some time to think about it. Yeah, let's wrap it up here. Thanks everyone for checking out the stream either live or already on VOD. I will be also uploading these streams on YouTube, because kind of would be nice to look back at them in the future at some point. Maybe there are some other people who would enjoy this low-key one-speed EU4 games. Yeah, thanks for joining and see you at the next stream. Bye.